Welcome back to another episode of Private Parts with me, Liv Bentley.
And me, Tom Lucy. This is the podcast where nothing is off limits.
Each week, we will read the most intimate and sordid details of our lives from our diaries.
Bang.
Bang.
You're 30.
I'm old. I'm 30.
This is your first podcast in your 30s.
As a 30-year-old.
Does it feel different?
It does. It feels harder. No, it does not.
Does it? So Liv turned 30, was it 2 days ago?
On Monday.
On Monday?
Yeah.
And
Everyone says your 30s are the best years of your life.
who says that?
Everyone who's turned 30.
People in their 80s.
No, but everyone says you feel more confident, you don't care as much.
And have the last 2 days been like that?
Yeah.
Really? You just feel like more carefree, more relaxed.
More
Do you
chill.
genuinely feel any different or not?
Of course not.
No. You think that's just a myth?
In fact, I just aged more because I was so hungover.
You had a party on Sunday.
I had it was sort of
Was
like
it a party?
No, not really.
Wasn't
it was
really a
It was a
party.
lunch with basically my family. My family consists of about 20 people anyway.
Yeah, you got a big family.
Big old family. But yeah, it was really nice actually.
Yeah, big
'Cause
family.
I hate birthdays.
Yeah.
So
I noticed that you went sort of Instagram silent over your birthday. I
know.
wonder whether you're going to do like a 30th post or something.
do I look like that type?
No.
I really am not. I don't like anything related to it.
Emotionless for an Instagram.
Exactly.
A birthday Instagram.
Too drunk.
So how was the lunch?
It was really nice actually. It was just
Did anyone speak?
my mother did. She gave a little speech.
Did she?
It was a positive. Oh yeah, it was your dad, wasn't it, who gave a
Oh, he did the weird kind of funeral video. Yeah.
What are those things called? What do people read at funerals?
Eulogies. My dad did the eulogy at my 21st.
No, my mum said a few words.
What did she say? That's very sweet.
Just said what a wonderful 30 years it's been.
Here's to another 30.
Here's to 30.
And your dad, did he say anything?
Didn't say anything. Sat there smiling.
Did he get the calendar out, the naked calendar?
He did not. He did ask if we could do another one. I said, not today, Daddy. No, but actually, you know something
I feel
odd.
uncomfortable with you calling him daddy,
Yeah,
to
it's
be
horrible,
honest.
isn't it?
I don't love it when girls call their dad daddy.
You can't. No, I think you get to
You
an
just
age.
did it.
I know, but I do it deliberately, Daddy. Anyway, no, I don't say it like that. Let's not move on from that. My mum really sweetly gave me a 30th album. Anyway, my family have this weird thing. We used to do family photo Christmas cards.
Oh, you're one of those
It's a
families.
bit American, isn't it?
Oh, so your
And it's
Christmas
like
card
us
would
in
be...
fairy dresses, like round the garden looking like that. And I said to my
Wow.
mum this weekend, I was like, I'm 30 now. There's no way us as a family, all five of
So
us.
have you still, up till last Christmas, you were still doing
We
that?
did. I think we did one about 2 years ago.
So do you all have to come round and take a Christmas photo?
Yeah. Everyone in your
That's
black tie
hilarious.
dresses in the garden now, please.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I
too much.
cannot imagine being part of a family like that. It is very American, that.
Yeah.
You know, some families, they'll send out like a yearly report
Of what
on
each
what
child's
everyone's been
doing.
doing. Who
No.
gives a fuck, honestly?
It's so
Oh,
true.
and little Barnaby's doing very well.
He's at Oxford University.
He's grade 4 piano now. Oh, who the fuck's Barnaby?
I dread to think what my parents would say about all five of us.
Yeah.
Olivia's in rehab.
Liv is recovering from a fairly serious drug addiction.
Thanks.
And then a little photo of you in a little elf costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
That would be.
So you're going to stop the Christmas cards?
Has to stop now.
So the birthday lunch was nice. What presents
really
did
nice.
you get?
Cham-
30 is a big one.
Champagne from everyone.
Really?
I hate champagne.
Why did they all give you
No,
champagne?
I'm joking, I don't know. I'm not a gift person.
Like you'd won a gold Olympic medal or something.
Yeah. Well,
Did you get flowers and bottles of champagne?
flowers and bottles of champagne,
Wow.
which is actually quite sweet. I'm just not big on gifts.
Are your
Like,
family not a big gift family?
well, my mum really sweetly is always like, I know I don't want to ever get you anything, so I know you can just get it for yourself. I was like, true.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but like, as in,
I think it's more the thought though, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Rather
I'm
than
not really-
You could
I'd-
buy this yourself.
I'd rather something sentimental. Oh no, well, she made
Like
me
champagne?
this like champagne. No, she made me this really sweet album, which I actually prefer stuff like that. I'm really not a gift person.
So you prefer someone to make you a present?
Yes.
That's what I always used to do. If I'd forgotten to buy someone a present, I'd
My
go,
mother
I
slaved over this
I
album.
made this in the car on the way down.
Such a twat.
It's a wrapper from a Cadbury's chocolate bar, which I've sculpted to look like you a bit.
That's sweet.
So what was the album that your mum gave you?
30 years of me, basically.
What, photos?
Yeah, photos. No, it was.
Have you bought it in?
I
for us
haven't
to
bought
see?
it in because I don't want any judgment after the nude calendar situation. I think these family photos need to stay.
I'd like to see the 30th calendar.
Family at
The
home.
album. And Sweet Stephen. What did Stephen get you?
Sweet Stephen. So actually, this is a weird one. So Stephen, because so it's his birthday coming up, And I said to him,
Big 50.
the big 50. I said,
Yeah.
so, we spoke about it with my dad, that him and my dad have these mutual friends. Anyway,
Yeah.
him and I, because we haven't been together
Him
that
and
long.
Daddy.
Oh, daddy. No, stop saying that. Because we haven't been together that long, I said we should just go on holiday and take each other away rather than give each other gifts, because it's a bit early on to be giving someone something.
Diamond necklaces.
Yeah,
Yeah, although that would be nice.
would be lovely, but
Yeah.
not yet. But it is. There's a bit of like when you've only been with someone for not that long, it is a bit of a.
Do you reckon? Although aren't you in the sort of honeymoon phase where you're sort of all over each other?
Yes.
Yeah. So surely your gifts are just every other day. Like, oh, I saw this on the way. I thought of you. I saw this. That'll all end.
That'll all end soon. No.
So
no,
you've agreed to just go on holiday.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go? Can you say?
Greece, maybe?
Oh, you don't know yet.
No, we are.
So did he
We
get
go
you
to
a
Greece.
gift?
No.
Oh, so
Because
that's the gift.
No. So we're actually going away.
Ah,
Yeah.
very nice. Mm-hmm. And you're going to do that for his birthday as
Yeah,
well?
we are. But it's weird because we both kind of feel the same about birthdays. So it's
You hate them.
I really don't like them. I'm not good at giving gifts and I don't like receiving them. Like, it's very sweet that people do that, but I'm just not a gifts person.
Really? That's
Yeah.
not your love language?
No, we
Gift.
spoke about this last time.
Your physical touch, aren't you? Okay, great. So you had a nice birthday,
I had a really nice birthday.
but no gifts.
You keep making don't listen. I don't want actually people to get offended.
Well, no, but the reason I keep asking is that because I was going to say that this, is it week or is it day? National Bring Your Manners to Work Day today.
Right.
National Bring Your Manners to Work Day.
There's a fucking national day for everything. We had
Well, it was
breastfeeding.
breastfeeding day. Oh, it's breastfeeding month. Breastfeeding gets a month. Feels like manners should get a month.
I feel like that
and
should really be
breastfeeding
that
get a
should
day.
actually be the other way around.
But quite a contentious issue in my family is thank you letters after gift giving and whether you should write thank you letters after. But if you're not getting any gifts, then I guess you don't have
Fuck
to write
the
any
letters.
letters.
As kids, whenever it was like Christmas or birthdays and we'd get gifts from godparents, my parents would always say, you need to write a thank you letter. But to be totally honest, I haven't written a thank you letter in
How
a
do you
long
feel
time.
about sort of e thank you letters, like an email rather than a letter?
I mean, it depends what the gift is, if I'm honest.
Mm.
Say another family took you away for like a week or something. I think that should be a thank you letter.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
if you went round for supper or, I don't know, something chill,
Mm.
I think a text to say thank you so much for having me will suffice.
I did have a couple of friends growing up who would write letters on every, if any opportunity to write a handwritten letter, they would write one. They were
Such
like
a private school thing, isn't it?
They were like 60-year-old men trapped in 11-year-old boys' bodies.
I can guarantee their parents made them do it.
Yeah.
My parents used to make it. If we went to like a kid's 18th or anything, Mum was like, write that thank you letter.
We had one.
On one
I
of
had
our
one
family
friend.
photo cards.
I had one friend who would like come round for dinner after school, and then a week later, my mum would get a letter, and it would
But
say
how
like,
happy were your
"Thank you
parents?
so much for the absolutely wonderful evening we spent together."
But how happy were your parents when they got those letters?
Oh, they love it. Yeah.
Because my parents love it when because my brother's obviously the younger one, so he's the only one whose mates actually write letters now. Thank you letters.
It is nice, and when you send a letter, you do feel a sense of I've done a good thing there. You know what I mean? It
I
does.
just
It does
find
make.
it a fucking hassle.
It does make no, but once you've done it, it does make you feel good. No.
Yeah, it does.
One of the presents I got for my birthday was some headed paper. You know, you get
you
paper
told
with
me about this.
with like your name printed on the top of it to write thank you letters.
With your address.
No, I didn't have my address on it. I just had my name. I think your address is a bit intense.
How many times have you used it / written a thank
Yours
you
could
letter
just say Liv Bentley Fulham, or it could just say Parsons Green.
CEO?
CEO Parsons Green. Yeah, it'd be
Lubo.
great. So you're not going to write any thank you letters because you're not going to get any
You're going to
gifts.
sound like a dick, but no, probably not.
Fine. Okay, that's all right. Well, don't worry. That's fine. But National Bring Your Manners to Work Day.
Right.
I was going to ask about how important you think manners are in a relationship, friendship or romantic relationship.
Yeah, really important. I'll get the ick from people who have bad manners.
Mm-hmm. Really?
So, a few things.
So give me an example of
Chewing gum. Like, say I introduced Stephen to my parents and he stood there chewing gum, I'd be a bit horrified.
yeah.
Or eating with their mouth open.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the worst is people who hold their knives like a pen. Do you know exactly what I mean? That, for me, on a first date, ick.
I
That
have
would be
noticed,
out.
I have noticed. My my grandparents used to do that, and I used to really notice it. And then I would do it as a joke in front of my parents, and they would get really angry.
Fucking mental.
Yeah, it is really funny. Why do people do that?
I don't know, but my grandparents were very like, we'd go over to the house and we'd all have to wear black tights and like dresses, and it was always like 3-course meals, and it was very strict.
So Victorian England.
It was a little bit. She'd ring a bell and these like the people come and clear the plates.
Mm-hmm.
But they had the thing. Their one was, you can't, when you're eating your cutlery, you can't rest it on the table and your plate. It has to be rested on the plate. Like loads of weird.
Oh, in between mouthfuls.
Yeah.
Cutlery can't rest on the
touch
table.
the table. It has to be on the plate.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, how often do you see like? Would you do that now? You probably wouldn't even notice that as one.
Yeah. The other thing that I got picked up on the other day was, you know, when you sit in a restaurant and there's like 3 forks and 3 knives on either side.
Yeah.
And you're meant to work from the outside in. Yeah, I didn't know that until the other day.
I think that's pretty normal.
Is that normal? Do
Yeah,
most
that
people know
is.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the top 3 things that if you were going on a date with someone, you would notice as bad manners?
I mean, knife like pen would be the first.
Knife like pen.
Yeah.
Holding cutlery like a pen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you stand on you men standing when a woman walks into a room?
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, I think that is polite.
Would you notice if somebody didn't do that?
Yeah, if you were first meeting someone, like say your parents walked in the door now and I just sat here and was like, you're right. I wouldn't do that. I would get up and say hello.
You'd run over.
Run over. But the other one at the moment that I find really hard is since, and I don't know if it's since the COVID thing, but when you first meet someone, do you shake their hand or do you give them 2 kisses?
It's a constant battle, isn't it?
Because I went for this, well, not a job interview, I went for a thing for another TV show. I fucking hugged the bloke because I panicked. And then I was like, I've just hugged this bloody commissioner. It was really awkward.
It is really difficult because a lot of people do hug now, don't they? A lot of people just
I'm a hugger.
A lot of people go straight for a hug. Even men, like it used to be up until maybe 2 or 3 years ago that 2 men meeting would just be a handshake. Now you're like, some men want to hug, they want to
kiss,
do that like weird thing where you slap hands and you like.
I can't work it. Is it harder for men or women actually?
There's so many options when you meet someone.
But it's like with women, it's like with girls, you don't know if you do 1 kiss or 2, and then if the other person does 1 and you're lingering there like this, and then you slowly have to like bring
also
yourself
in like
back.
in a work environment, if I'm meeting like with someone who's a woman, I'm like, it feels uncomfortable to try and kiss them on a first meeting. Handshake, but then is a handshake too formal? I really am like in the wilderness.
Should we make a rule?
What we should go back to is elbow bumping, because that was just, everybody knew where you stood with that. It wasn't awkward. There was no like your face is really close to the other person's face. It was just class elbow bump.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
That I loved the elbow bump time because it was we all knew where we stood.
We were all on the same page about it.
And it was all keeping a distance from everyone. I like that.
Okay, well let's bring that back again.
Elbow bumps.
Elbow bumps.
Yeah.
Because
I've been in situations before where, like, I'm meeting a girl for the first time, and I've gone to like hug, but then my friend afterwards has kissed on both cheeks, and then I'm like, "Fuck, should I have done that?"
See, okay, if it was a first date, I probably would kiss on both cheeks. I don't know. It's not like when I greet you, I kiss on both cheeks. I give you a hug. It would be a bit odd if I met you like that, wouldn't it?
Well, if we shook hands. No.
Morning, let's get back to that fucking podcast.
What would you do if you arrived on a first date and the guy shook your hand?
I'd be like, is this a job interview?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
sort of is in a way.
Yeah, it is. Actually, another thing that's bad manners is people who just talk about themselves. And I've realised majority of people do it.
We know a few of those.
We know a lot of those. But you know some people who like don't draw breath and they sit and they just talk at you about everything they're doing and you're like, has this person even clocked?
Yeah, well, I was saying that there's a couple of people that we know who you will speak to, and while you're speaking, you can see that they're not
engaging.
They've checked out of the conversation, and then when you stop speaking, they re-engage and they carry on talking. That you can see their eyes like wandering around the room while you're speaking. That's really irritating.
That's fucking rude.
Yeah.
Or when you're talking to someone at like an event and you see their eyes wandering off just looking for other people.
There's so much social etiquette around events. Like I was saying to you earlier, if you're at an event and you're speaking to someone, and because normally there's like I don't know how long it is, but say 5 minutes is like a standard amount of time to speak to someone.
Yeah.
And then you feel the conversation like drawing to a close. You know, you've asked
See,
them.
that's when I say I've
you've
gotta go get
asked
a
them all
drink.
the normal questions, and then you're like, okay, we're starting to wrap this up now. How do you then move away from that person to another person without it being really obvious that you're like, okay, I'm done with you.
I would say I'm just going to go to the loo.
Every time you go to the loo.
Yeah, every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Look like I've got a
This is how
problem.
the drug addict rumors start.
You mean the bladder problems? The drug
Because
addict.
even if you say I'm going to go get a drink, they might go, "Oh, I'll come with you."
Say no, I'll get you one.
That's uncomfortable to say no.
No, you say stay there. I'll go get us drinks.
Okay, well then you come back with a drink, and then what do you do?
Well, you don't come back with the drink. You
Oh,
just
you
leave
just
them
leave
hanging.
them.
Yeah.
So that's rude.
I don't go to events. Thank
Okay,
God.
you don't go to events. There are loads of things though that I was taught, and maybe these are sort of quite old school. You don't need to do them anymore. But one of them was if you're walking down a pavement next to a road with a lady, you as the man should walk on the roadside.
I agree with that actually.
You like that?
Because normally if I'm a bit pissed, I'm probably falling into the road. So it's nice.
Which
if
normally you
someone's-
are a bit pissed, so that's standard. Because maybe some people wouldn't even notice that you're doing that. But that feels
Well-
quite old school, doesn't it?
I quite like those sorts of manners, if I'm totally honest.
You're big on manners.
Yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
Like opening car doors.
Opening car doors, opening doors. Have you ever had a situation where you walk through a door and you turn around and someone is walking towards the door, but they're right on the cusp of,
You let the door swing.
they're right on the cusp of whether it's acceptable for you to hold that door open for them or not.
Why?
Because I've had it before. I had it the other day actually, where I was in a building and I went through a door, turned around to see if anyone was behind me. There was a man walking maybe 10 meters away. He's obviously walking towards the door, and I looked at him and I was like, I can't wait. I'm not going to hold this for that long. So we made eye contact, and then I just let
And then you let go of it.
let the door
That's even
shut.
fucking worse.
I just think there's a distance that is appropriate to
But
hold
then
a door
don't
open.
look at him as if you're gonna wait and then go, gotcha.
But we both knew what happened. We both knew that I'd looked at him, judged the distance, and decided it wasn't worth it, and just shut the door.
No, see, I think at that point you have to hold the door open. If you've seen them coming and you've got through and you look at them and then drop
Maybe
the door.
the trick is not to look back. Maybe
Also,
the trick is just to keep walking.
Look down every time you open a door and just take out the people behind
The difficulty is when you walk through a door, look back, make eye contact with someone, and then choose to close
That's why
the
it's
door.
even ruder.
Maybe the trick is just to walk through a door and just keep walking. The thing you shouldn't do is look back, make eye contact, and then close the door.
Because you know what will happen is you'll be looking down, you'll open the door for yourself, and then some poor old bag will be behind you, and the door will take her out, and then you're still just going for it. Lateness and actually bailing on things. I've realised people are very good at bailing.
What, being flaky?
Yeah.
It's become more acceptable, I think, to be like that, isn't it?
But I don't think it's
I think
that-
it's become fairly socially acceptable to just be like casually.
But you can't bail on things. Anything that's like a dinner, a wedding.
A wedding?
I know a lot of people
Who's
who
bailing
bail-
on a wedding?
I know a lot of people who've bailed on weddings. Well, I know
Really?
one person who's bailed on a lot of weddings, which I actually think is really fucking rude.
That is bad.
That's really bad.
Because that's a substantial amount of money that person
Yeah.
has paid for you to be there. I read somewhere that like every person it's about 300 quid a head to go to a wedding for the bride and groom. That's what it costs per person.
Yeah, so imagine them bailing on that.
So that's a fair amount of money. I agree with that. I think lateness is bad. I'm the same as you. I will always get somewhere like 10 minutes early.
I get a bit anxious otherwise.
Yeah.
You see, you strike me more as you've got like a more of a leisurely approach
You reckon?
to timings. Yeah.
Have I ever been late to anything that we've arranged?
Yeah, podcast.
When?
It's set, we've said 9:30 and you roll in at 10.
Okay, but
Your hectic mornings.
I've got a lot going on. I think it can be a bit...
Yours is dependent probably on what it is.
Okay, here's the issue. The problem is that because you're 10 minutes early, if I'm 10 minutes late, you've been waiting for 20 minutes
Right.
because you were there 10 minutes early. It's not up to me that you've arrived early.
But-
So you're doubly angry because you've been waiting longer because you were there early.
But I would have been.
So if I was actually just 10 minutes late, then I've just been 10 minutes late. But because you were so early, I'm actually like
Hang on.
40 minutes
and
late.
this is making this a me problem.
Feels like a you problem.
No.
Also, you travel everywhere by Uber, so you're
and I
there.
need plenty of time
Whereas-
for traffic.
Yeah. Do you? Do you really?
I do.
Do you actually?
Yeah, I'm a really like anal about. Like, don't look at me.
Let's not get back into this.
No, I'm really strict on timings.
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah,
So how long do you leave to get here? Do you leave like double the amount of time?
45 minutes. So I can get here, have a coffee, have a cigarette, make small talk with you about
Every
the last
time
few
I arrive
days.
here, Liv is outside the building chain smoking.
Well, yeah, because it's taken 45 minutes to get here.
It's like I could put money on the fact that I'm going to turn up and you're going to be out the front chain smoking.
you know what,
normally voice noting as well. You're normally
I was actually on a Zoom once.
You're normally smoking and sending someone a voice note every single time I arrive.
I love a voice note.
You do love a voice note.
You don't really send them.
I have another thing I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Just quickly, because it happened this morning, and I think you're going to have an interesting opinion about this. I woke up next to sweet Olivia, and she woke up, and for the first hour of our day, was in a bad mood with me because she had dreamt that I had cheated on her.
Those dreams are the pits.
And I was like, I honestly don't know
What to say.
I ended up apologising. 'Cause I was like,
happens.
I don't want us to argue, so I guess I'll just say sorry. But I don't know what I'm apologising for.
How did she word it? Was she just like...
She was just a bit off with me for like the first 30 minutes of the day. She was just a bit off, and I could tell there was an issue. And then I was thinking, what could the issue be? Because we've just woken up, so nothing's happened yet. So if she's off with me in the evening, I'm like, well, something must have happened today, but we'd just woken up. So I eventually was like, is everything okay? And she was like, well, not really. I dreamt that you cheated on me. And I was like, okay, well, but I'm really
sorry.
I'm sorry, I guess.
I have...
But you're acting like that's happened to you.
Yeah, it has. I woke up livid. It was with one of my exes, and it was a very surreal dream. It was horrible. And I woke up in a foul mood, went upstairs and chain smoked just to get over it.
Voice noted someone and chain smoked.
He fucking cheated. No, those dreams are horrible.
So that's a regular kind of girl thing to happen.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a
I
weird...
don't think I've ever had it the other way around where I don't think I've ever been on the...
You've dreamt that you've cheated.
No,
That's even more terrifying.
Yeah.
Because you wake up going, was that real or
Waking
not?
up feeling real guilty.
And then you sort of blur in like boozy nights and a dream, and you're like, did that actually happen?
Stop.
I don't know what you do.
Has that happened with Sweet Stephen yet?
No.
No.
I have sweet dreams with Sweet Stephen. Do you think you've got good manners?
I think so, yeah. I think there's a couple of things I'm not great at, but
Such as?
chewing gum. I think I chew gum quite a lot.
Do you spit?
No, I don't spit,
That,
no.
for me, and I notice it, people on their bicycles do it often, is go like that on the side of the road. And I'm sometimes walking and I'm like, oh, I think that is
really
horrific.
awful, yeah. That is really awful.
That's really gross. Oh, the other one.
Imagine if you went on like an amazing date with someone. Like,
they spat,
but imagine if you had like the most incredible evening with someone and you were like, you'd been for this lovely dinner and you were walking along the river and it was really amazing and you were like, this is going so well. And then they just spat really hard on the side of the road.
I would be shocked. I honestly would be like, that's fucking disgusting. And the other one, and I know blokes do it, I've never seen a girl do it. Guys, I don't want to like recreate it. Guys who blow their nose out of tissue, hold one side. And what are you doing? It's so disgusting.
Footballers do that a lot, don't they?
Yeah, rank. Just a little tissue in your pocket.
That'd be such a funny thing to do on a date.
People, there's so many things bad, Maggie. Picking your nose. Actually, that's another thing that I think. When people are in their cars, I think they forget that's not the comfort of their own home. I'll be going down the motorway, look over, and some fucker will be with his nose up, finger up his nose.
That's why you want to get tinted windows.
Yeah, no, you just don't do that.
Just don't do it.
It just makes me feel a bit...
Do you think I have good manners?
Yeah, I think you do.
Have I ever done anything that you've thought that's
You've
bad?
never bought me a coffee here. I buy them for you every time. Or held the door open for me. But other than
That's
that...
not true.
got
No, what I
nervous.
normally do is hold a door, look back, and then decide you're too far away.
And I'm still smoking a ciggy.
You're still outside chain smoking and
Can we say I have one cigarette before I
voice
come?
noting.
I've got 1 month until I quit.
Oh, you were going to quit before you were 30?
No, in the year of my 30th.
Oh, well,
So
that's
this year.
That gives you 12 months.
Sober September, end of September. I'm going to do a month sober, then quit smoking. Can't do it all at
Okay.
once. Yeah, what else we say?
I think you've got pretty good manners.
I think I actually do.
Oh, you know what I got picked up on once was I was walking around somewhere with Olivia and we bumped into one of her friends. So we stopped on the street to have a conversation with them. And I had sunglasses on for the whole interaction. And then when we stopped and had a chat, I had sunglasses on. And then as we walked away, Olivia was like, "Oh, you know, if you're speaking to someone, you should take your sunglasses off because it's making you feel quite distant to the conversation if you've got sunglasses on."
Yeah, and I suppose you're meeting someone, you do need to make that eye contact.
What do you think? Where do you stand on that?
I would probably take them off, yeah.
Would
but
you?
that's only because I would want to, yeah, I would take them off, I think.
That's the difference.
But then that's another one. You know when you're in a couple and you bump into someone, say that Olivia knew, but you don't know, introducing you to them.
Oh, that's a big
And then,
one.
because there's times whoever you're
Yeah.
with knows the people, but they don't introduce you, and you sort of stand
That's
there.
a
I look
big
down and just
one.
go on my phone. I'm not ballsy enough to go, "Hi, I'm Liv." Like,
That's a big one. Yeah.
It's such I think you should introduce.
I think they should introduce you immediately as well.
Yeah. Not
'cause
after 5 minutes of chat and you're
what
like, oh.
sometimes happens is you stand there for like a minute while they talk.
Looking
and
at the floor.
And then they go, "Oh, sorry, this is Tom, by the way." Like, I think you should immediately be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
this is Tom."
And then if they don't introduce
That
you,
does
you're like,
that does annoy me when I feel a bit awkward because they haven't said, "Oh, this is Tom." That is a big one. That's a good one.
On the sunglasses thing, I went to a wedding once and there was a guest guy and he wore his sunglasses throughout the service in the church. And
Definitely hungover.
I was like, I think that was...
Was he blind?
No, he wasn't blind. But his dog. No,
Take
but
your fucking
I was like,
sunglasses
that is fucking rude, isn't it?
Yeah,
You can't go to church and keep your sunglasses.
I like
what
that.
are you, some rapper?
I like the sound of that. Just sunglasses on the whole time.
No, you can't.
Because in the UK, let's be honest, there isn't a huge amount of need to wear sunglasses, is there?
No.
We have about 4 days a year where you would have to wear them.
I only think it's rude. I actually agree with when you're talking to someone, it's rude to wear them. But if you left here and didn't speak to anyone and had your sunglasses on, I don't think anyone gives a fuck.
What about those glasses that they are like normal eyeglasses, but then in the
Slightly-
sun they turn into sunglasses?
That reminds me of like a PE teacher from childhood.
And like sometimes my friend has a pair of them, and if you come from being outside into the inside, it takes about 5 minutes for them to turn back into glasses. So you just look like a prick wearing sunglasses inside.
Or the glasses, the sort of like Jeffrey Dahmer vibe ones.
Yeah.
That are like not full sunglasses, but they're tinted.
Oh, they're like the tinted ones.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing
but
now.
people think that's acceptable to keep those on.
Sam Thompson wears like indoors tinted glasses.
Yes,
but then
'cause-
I don't know what the deal with that is, because they are like halfway between sunglasses and glasses, because you can see their eyes. So you could argue that that's okay inside to be wearing those. And some people do that the whole bollocks of, "Oh, I've got sensitive eyes, oh, I have to wear these." I'm like, yeah, whatever. You just think they look cool, you want to wear them. Fine.
Okay, wait, another one. If you were going to dinner or you were at a lunch or something, would you take your hat off?
Yeah, I would.
You would?
If it was like a fancy restaurant, I would, yeah. Even if it wasn't, yeah, I would.
See, there's so many things like that. I just don't think people do anymore.
Anyway, it's interesting. Let's have the stats,
Oh.
shall we? This is about manners and judgment.
How long does it take someone to make a judgment?
Oh wow, that's quite good actually. What, when they first meet you? I think very quickly. I would guess like 3-4 seconds. Yeah, I reckon it's really quick, and I reckon it's completely subconscious. You don't even realize you're doing
it, yeah.
What do you think when you meet someone? What do you think is the first thing that you notice about them?
That you judge them on?
Yeah.
The way they look.
But
Like, without sounding like a dick. But
okay,
it
but
is.
in what way? Like their face, their
clothing,
clothes?
their clothing. For me, it's
That's the
clothing.
first thing.
Like say I invited someone down to like my family home and they showed up in tracksuits, my parents would be quite shocked at that. We had a rule when we were younger. This is so ridiculous because I'm going to sound like a self saying this. My dad didn't like people in didn't like us wearing trackies because it looked like we weren't ready. Or like if you went to stay at someone's house and you came down in the morning still in like your pajamas and dressing gown and stuff.
Your family don't like that?
No, they think they yeah. It's not they don't like it. That makes us sound weird, but like I don't know.
But what is it about someone's like appearance? That's what you notice first,
Yeah.
more so than like their face or their handshake or.
Oh, there's nothing worse than a limp handshake. You know.
Do you not think some people just like have an energy that you just pick up immediately?
Yeah.
I'm always amazed by that when you meet someone and you just immediately like pick up a positive or a negative energy from them.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like when people have a bad energy, you just immediately feel it. Do you not think? When
Yeah,
you meet
but
them?
do you know? Can you spot their energy before the way they look? No.
No, but
You- if you're this first time
I could be introduced to someone at a party and immediately pick up like not a great vibe. Have you ever been in a situation where you've had a bad vibe from someone that everybody else loves, and you can't work out why you don't click with that person?
Yeah, probably. I can't think off the top of my head who.
Are you a big like do you sort of get like an energy from someone when you meet them and you're like, I like this person, I don't like this person? Is it quite immediate?
Yeah, it is. But I'm trying to think. No,
And do you meet many people that you don't like immediately? Does that happen very often?
no. Most people I like, and I don't actually. I'll be totally honest. I actually don't tend. I mean, I judge people on their clothing, but that's just stupid. But in terms of like I don't judge people that quickly, only because of people judging me so quickly. And I think when I meet people, when I've met people now who may have seen me on the show, like, you're so different.
Yeah.
And so I think you should be careful judging people so quickly. So I'm totally
good
honest.
advice.
Like, honestly, when I meet people, they go, oh, you're not aggressive at all. Like,
People think you're going to be really aggressive.
yeah, I'm really like loud and quite
Yeah.
intense, whereas I'm actually quite chill and just quite quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So no, and if I like, and also I'm quite shy. So if I meet someone who's a bit quiet, instead of thinking they're like bad vibes, I'm just like, well, they're obviously
That's
just
a
a bit
problem
shy.
with that's a problem with being quite quiet. Is it can come across
It's rude.
Yeah,
But I only know that because I used to be quite shy.
it can come across as being a bit like aloof, can't it?
Yeah.
When actually you're just quite quiet.
But I'm so fucking shallow. I judge people more off what they're wearing than what they say. Like, if I'm totally honest.
Okay, let's go back in part 2 and we'll find out the answer to the stat and much more. Welcome back to part 2 of Private Parts Podcast with me, Tom Lucy.
And me, Lib Bentley.
Here we go. Answer to the stat.
Okay. The stat was, how long does it take someone to make a judgment? Answer is
Hang on, I guess 3 to 4 seconds.
3 to 4 seconds. Within the first 7 seconds of meeting, people will have a solid impression of who you are. And some research suggests 1/10 of a second is all it takes to start determining traits like trustworthiness. Wow. But see, I think I'm actually a bit naive because I generally see the good in everyone, and then I get royally fucked over by people, and I'm like, should have seen that coming.
So do you think you meet someone and you're immediately like, I want to like this person?
Not that I want to like
You're not
them.
suspicious when you meet people.
No, I just trust people blindly.
That's a good thing.
It is,
well,
but then
maybe
it's
not
not
good to trust everyone, but it's good to go in thinking this is going to be a good person.
But then that's just naivety, isn't it?
I don't think it is. I don't think you should live your life assuming that everyone is bad.
But the problem is most people are bad.
I don't think they are.
Not bad, but I think I'm very shite when it comes to seeing people's intentions. And then when I realise people have used me, I'm like, well, I just don't know how I missed that. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's a fine line, isn't it, between giving, like, allowing people to, assuming people are going to be good, but not just overly trusting everyone all the time. Because you don't want to walk around being like,
Negative, yeah.
Everyone's got ulterior motives and I shouldn't trust anyone, and you don't want to live like that.
But we live in a world that's like that, Tom.
Do we though?
We do.
I think most people are okay.
Okay.
I mean, like, I think obviously there are bad people, but I don't think most people are bad.
No,
And I don't think you should go into events like assuming everyone you meet is going to be bad. Maybe the kind of events
I don't
you go
leave my
to.
house going, today I'm going to meet all the wrong uns, but like, yeah, I suppose. Anyway, moving on.
We've got a listener
We've
story.
got a listener's story. You ready for
Around the theme of judgment and manners.
it? Close.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not another really aggressive sex one, is it?
So I live with a friend. Let's call him Dave. Dave has this weird obsession with his fleshlight.
Okay, it is another weird
Christ.
sex one. Okay. I was rather hoping we were going to have like a nice
No.
one about manners or something, but fine.
This could be about manners.
Is this sent by Jamie Lang? Because he had a fleshlight.
Let's not think about that.
He's very open about his fleshlight.
Are you joking? But
He
he's
had
got
one at boarding school.
What? He hasn't got one now though.
No, not now, but he had
fine.
one at boarding school and he talks about it a lot.
This could.
Do we know what a fleshlight is?
It's a fake vagina that blokes put it on.
Did Jomo make one?
Jomo don't make one actually.
It's not a bad idea.
Anyway, okay, right. Dave has this weird obsession with his fleshlight. I'm talking every conversation somehow loops back to it. We'd be grabbing lunch, talking about movies, and suddenly he's like, using a fleshlight is just like that scene where the guy gets the girl. It was driving me insane. I even overheard him mention it to his girlfriend. Ooh. Surely you don't need a flashlight, we've got a girlfriend. Okay, for weeks I judged him silently and sometimes not so silently. I'd roll my eyes, shake my head and tell him to get a life. But Dave, he just kept going on about how life-changing it was. One night I was drunk and curiosity got the better of me. I was alone at home and Dave's relentless enthusiasm had wormed its way into my brain. I thought, all right, fine. Let's see what all the fuss is about. I snuck into Dave's room and borrowed his precious fleshlight and gave it a go. Oh, God.
What?
And I'm not going to lie, it was pretty damn amazing. Amazing. I finally understand what Dave was going on about. I was ready to eat all my words, but here's where the story takes a turn. I thought it was bad enough.
Is that not the end of the story?
What do you mean? Oh, Just as I nutted, I heard the front door open and Dave returned home. Knowing he's probably already thinking about his late night plan, I didn't have time to clean it and shoved it back into the drawer.
Oh, God.
Who is this from? The next day, Dave comes downstairs, completely unaware of my little experiment. He starts raving about his fleshlight again, and I'm sitting there feeling this mix of guilt and awkward satisfaction. Dave, still clueless, eventually leaves. But now, every time I see him, I can't help but cringe a little because I know the truth, and I'm living with the aftermath of my own poor decision. And the best part? Dave still has no idea.
That's
actually really quite. But it would be like me using someone else's vibrator.
yeah.
You just wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't, would you?
Like,
That's really horrific.
that's horrific.
I mean, I would say you're pretty, of all people I know, quite
tread
open-minded.
very carefully with what you're
No,
like.
no, no. I was going to say that you're pretty open-minded on the kind of sex toy front. So I would imagine
Sharing them is
a
not.
guy using a fleshlight you would have no issue with.
No, I don't have an issue with people using fleshlights. I just wouldn't. You shouldn't share them. It'd be like sharing a toothbrush.
It's
rank.
worse than sharing a toothbrush, I would
I
argue.
gather it is slightly worse, but
Yeah.
still, I hate.
the guy that we had at school there was a guy I went to school with who had a fleshlight, and he used to wash it in the dishwasher.
What do you mean?
He used to put it in the
At
dishwasher.
school?
Yeah.
That is rank. That
Yeah.
is rank.
It's pretty awful, isn't it?
So Dave has been jizzing in the same thing that this other guy's been doing it in.
Also, do you need a fleshlight if you have a girlfriend?
Well, that's the thing that's a little bit odd.
It's a bit of a kick in the teeth for the girlfriend, isn't it?
Yeah, but actually, on this topic, that is completely different to a girl having a vibrator.
Do you reckon?
100%.
Why?
Because
Why? Hang on, I'm going to stick up for Dave here.
Because
Why is that different?
Dave, I don't know how to put this without putting it crudely. Dave is putting his piece inside something. The equivalent basically is his girlfriend. But with a vibrator, a guy can still be inside you and the vibrator
Right.
goes somewhere else.
Okay.
Because vibrators are for external use.
Oh, are they?
Dildos are for
Right.
inside. Yeah, so they're
Thanks
two different.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yo, you knew perfectly well.
External, internal
Yeah.
use.
And you can use a bloke and a vibrator at the same time because some women need to because they can only orgasm from clitoral stimulation.
We're really getting into it now.
Well, I speak about this shit every day.
And Dave might only be able to orgasm through
A fleshlight, which is
external
essentially the same as his girlfriend.
plastic equipment.
What does it looks like a tube that you put your thing in, right?
Well,
I don't get a photo. No, don't get a photo.
It's
'cause
meant to
it
look
made
like
me feel weird.
It's meant to look like a torch, like a flashlight, a torch.
But it looks like a vagina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It doesn't. No, it doesn't look like a vagina. No, it doesn't. There's no vagina that looks
Does it
like a
turn
flashlight.
on? Does it do anything?
Does it turn on? I don't know. Are you getting a picture up of it? Oh my god. It's worse than I thought.
Oh no, that's horrible. That's actually the grimmest thing I've ever seen.
Wow.
See, a vibrator doesn't have sort of like fake pubes on it with a ball sack.
Oh, it's a good idea though.
No, I don't think so.
Is
That meant to be the butthole.
Oh my god. Okay. Dave, you've got some issues, mate. I don't know what to say.
But you don't imagine sharing that. That'd be like, that's just like sharing your girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? Have a crack.
Stop.
That is, it would be, wouldn't it? Go on, she's done in here. You have a go.
That's absolutely horrific. Look, our thoughts go out to anyone affected by that story.
No, they don't. If you've ever considered doing anything even close to that, you should really rethink your morals.
You should. I went on a lovely romantic week away.
Does this involve a fleshlight?
No, I'm trying to segue away from flashlights. We did something that we stayed in this hotel, Olivia and I, and the hotel offered archery as a sort of experience in the hotel.
Okay.
It was like one of these big country...
Maison Estelle or Estelle
No,
Manor?
it wasn't. It was in Devon. It was one of these big country hotels, and they had like a golf course and a spa and all this stuff. And one of the things they had was archery. And we did archery together.
That's very sweet.
Isn't that sweet? Isn't that like really wholesome?
That's
I'm trying to
really-
segue away from fleshlights and into something more sweet.
I
But
think fleshlight sounds a little bit more entertaining, but no, that's really...
fleshlights is maybe more exciting, but
Did you use any Jomo while you were away?
for the archery, we didn't use Jomo actually.
Okay.
No.
That sounds really sweet and wholesome.
It was really sweet and wholesome. Yeah, it was a very wholesome weekend. Yeah, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'm thinking that we're slightly too young to be having those weeks away.
What,
maybe
you
now
want to
I'm
get Dave round?
Now I'm thinking that actually maybe Dave has a more exciting life. Have you been to the moors in Devon?
No.
I think it's where a lot of murders have happened historically.
Yeah, something killers. What are they called? That couple, wasn't
The
it?
Moors murder. Is it the Moors
Moore's
murderers?
That probably might be that actually.
It looks like the kind of place you would, if I was gonna murder someone, it looks like the kind of place you would do it. It's complete barren. There's nothing there. It's very windy and dark.
Have you thought about that before? Like when you go to a new place, do you think this would be a great place to hide a body?
No, I just thought that would be hypothetically would be a good place to do.
I
Something
love
like
stories like that. I just like to
What
know what
murder
happened.
story?
Also, by the way, Fulham's become very dodgy. I'm gonna have to move. I was driving down the street yesterday. 10 police cars, 3 ambulances. They'd closed off the road. Probably another stabbing.
What happened?
I don't know. I didn't actually ask.
You wind
Although
them in-
I'm so fucking nosy. You know, like when there's an accident on the motorway.
Oh, you're one of those people
I
that
am.
slows down
I have to have a
look at it.
look. I have to.
That's what causes the traffic.
It's called
is people-
rubbernecking because everyone's going, ooh.
Yeah, everyone's looking at what's happened.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Oasis.
the Oasis reunion next year. Are you excited about this? I can't imagine that. Are you a big Oasis fan?
Are you?
I was excited by it, yeah.
Oh, I just want to understand, what was the fallout between them? Rivalry. Yeah,
It's a sibling
essentially.
rivalry, wasn't it? But I think they,
The world's gone mad about it though.
yeah. Well, because I think people have been waiting for it to happen for a really long time. And
Do you think they've been planning it for a really long
I
time?
reckon they've probably been talking about it for a while. They are meant to make so much money.
It is pretty mental.
Yeah. I'm slightly thinking that Noel Gallagher got divorced last year and he's run out of money and that's why they're doing it. That's my cynical attitude to why it's happening at the moment, but I don't really care. It's going to be great.
When is it?
Next year, next summer.
Are you going to go?
I'm going to go.
Are you?
Well, I don't know yet. They haven't, but I'm going to try and go. Do you know what they look like now?
I do.
Which do you prefer the look of them? If you were going purely on judgment of appearance, which one do you prefer?
Noel.
Noel, the
Yeah.
smaller one.
Complete 50-50 guess that.
Okay, we'll get up a picture of them.
No, I know what they both look
okay,
like.
so which do you prefer? I would have put all my money on you saying Liam,
Why?
because he just looks like more your type, I would have thought.
Judgment?
A bit more rugged.
Also, by the way, this whole chat about you definitely judge people on the way they look.
Me?
Yeah,
Why?
100%.
Why?
Because you just...
What's that based on?
I mean, I openly admit that I'm shallow as fuck.
Yeah, but...
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know that show we were talking about, Love is Blind?
Oh, yeah. Yes. That's great.
Without sounding like a twat.
That is a show that you would not do well on.
No.
Because the idea of I'm sure everyone's seen it, but the idea is that you fall in love with someone without seeing them in the flesh, right?
Okay, but on that show...
So people have dates behind like a screen,
yeah.
and then they decide if they love them, and then they get to see them.
But how... Okay, so I've never actually watched it, but the premise is what? They then agree to get married?
Is that the idea that they get married without seeing each other?
And then what-
I think it's meant to be quite a sweet. It's actually meant to be quite a sweet idea because
Well,
it's meant to be. Can you fall in love with someone without knowing
Which
what
I
they
actually
look
think
like?
is quite good because I think we live in a world where everyone just cares about the way they look.
Right,
With
so it's
things like
actually
social
quite
media.
a sweet idea.
Yeah, it
but
is.
then you're saying in reality that's not how it works.
No, I'm sure it is. I'm saying for me personally,
Mm.
I would probably...
Can you not imagine yourself meeting someone, like say you were friends with someone for a really long time and you didn't find them attractive, but you were just friends with them. And then like after years and years and years of being friends, you eventually get together. But you've known them for a long time and you weren't attracted
No,
to
it
them.
wouldn't happen. The longer we were friends, the more unlikely it would be
you
that we
reckon?
get together, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Just know them too
Do you think
well.
most girls are like that?
I would actually say guys are probably more shallow in that sense than girls are. Because girls don't, I mean, yeah, looks, and this is like contradicting what I've just said, looks are great and stuff, but I actually think, listen, you have to be physically attracted to someone, of course you do.
Yeah.
But there are small things that make a guy a lot more attractive, like manners.
Mm.
Like you can meet some really hot people, but they've got the most butters personality. Like, it's true, like they're boring as fuck and you're like,
Yeah.
but I don't
Yeah.
know, which kind of goes against what I just said.
No, it doesn't.
But I think it's a mixed bag, really, isn't it? But I think the older you get, more personality does mean more.
Yeah.
But like, listen, let's get real for a minute. If you were behind a screen and you had the most charming personality, and then I looked at you, and no offense, but you were 4 foot and I'm, nearly 6 foot. It's shallow, but
Back to Noel Gallagher again.
Noel Gallagher, come on. Joking.
It is interesting. I would like to think that something like the Love is Blind is realistic, but I just don't know.
I think it's good for younger people to watch that, to know that actually you get to a point in age. Because when you're
It's
younger,
kind of the opposite of like Naked Attraction, isn't it? That other show where you just
but see, that
look
scares the
at
living
naked
hell out of me.
bodies.
That's way too much.
Yeah, there's got to be a middle ground between that. Well, it's just dating, isn't it? And that's a middle ground.
God, there are more dating shows out there than you could shake a stick at.
I have a friend who met his wife over the phone. So they at work that he was like talking to her over the phone at work, and they would just chat. And this went on for like months and months. They would just talk over the phone, didn't know what each other looked like, and then they met up at some work function, and then they got together. But they started by just speaking over the phone.
Yeah,
That's quite sweet,
that
don't you
is,
think?
it is really sweet.
But then I guess you still have to meet and be like, I'm attracted to them.
Yeah. But I suppose it's what you find attractive, isn't it? Like, honestly, I was about to say his name, Stephen. He's different to the guys I've gone for in the past, but then I would say now he's like completely my type, and that everyone I've been with in the past is not. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I've never been with anyone like him. So it's sort of like, I don't know.
Would you judge along the lines of judging people for things? I guess you're a good person to ask about this because you've done reality TV. Would you judge someone who had been on reality TV? Or do you ever feel like you've been judged for being on it? In a social setting?
I think, I definitely probably have been judged for doing it. I think it's hard because I think now when you do reality shows, a lot of people are like, oh, you want to be famous, but you don't. I mean, I'm a Z-lister, so it's not like
You genuinely don't, like, you genuinely have no kind of fame hungry side. I don't get any vibe from you that you're doing it to be famous.
No, and but I genuinely don't.
But there must be people that you know who went on those shows to be
100%,
famous.
100%. But that is a newer thing. I think when I originally was on it, Instagram wasn't really a thing. It was Twitter. Like, it wasn't all about, I don't know. I think reality being a.
Do you think they've become more now? They've become more about fame now.
Yeah, I think it has. And I think every other person you meet has done some form of a reality show. I wouldn't judge them because I've fucking done it, but I think people's intentions with it. I mean, I suppose a lot of people probably do go on those shows to find love. Like,
really?
Well, some people probably do.
I don't believe that.
I don't know. With Love Island, I think you see the money you can make, and off the back of all these things, what you can actually get.
I don't, maybe I'm being overly cynical, but I don't believe that people are going on Love Island genuinely looking for love.
No, but
there's so many other ways of doing that.
Yeah. It's a hard one. I don't know. Because I've met both sides, like a lot of people who've done one thing. So originally when I joined Chelsea, it was to promote my photography. It was nothing to do with getting Instagram followers because Instagram wasn't even big then.
Yeah.
It was not about all of that. Whereas then you meet a lot of people whose goal after leaving school is to go straight into do reality TV. So it's sort of like, I don't know. I would judge someone who has been on multiple, as in like, I went on a show, I went on Celebs Go Dating once. And there are people like the datees that they bring on.
Yeah.
And a lot of those datees have been extras on every single show under the sun, which I would be like, well, then your goal in this is to be famous. And I was standing talking to one of the guys and
what the ones who they put you on dates with?
Yeah. As in like...
What, they're like rejects from all the different shows?
Yeah. Which then I'm like, well, your aim here is to be
That's quite bleak,
famous.
isn't it?
Well, that is a little bit.
It is really bleak, yeah.
And one of them openly said that. One of them said to me, one of them once said to me, when I was like, well, I'm trying to get on Made in Chelsea. I was like, you're wearing a fucking mic. This is obviously not going anywhere.
Yeah. But why else would you go on a show like for the celebrities going on that show? It makes a bit more sense to me because you're being paid and it's a job, right? But for the regular people going on that, why else would you do that other than I want to be on TV? What other benefit is there?
That is true. Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I can't. Well,
I'm almost more understanding of the celebrities doing it.
But then some of those shows. What is that one where you get married?
Married at First Sight.
No, that's it. Is it Married at First Sight?
Yeah.
I mean, off the back of that, in the English version, what level of fame do they get? Do they come out and they're really famous?
Well,
no, it's not like Love Island, is it? So some of them must be going on there to actually see if it works for them to find love.
Yeah, but I think it's difficult because like the Tommy Fury thing, I think everybody used to use them as an example of actually it can work out. Everybody used to use them as the like, actually you can have a genuine relationship that is made on a dating show.
And a lot
but
of
look at what's happened with that.
Yeah, but that is quite a sad situation. But they were together for a good 5 years. I don't think that was a money thing. But then you hear all these things about a lot of people come off Love Island, they stay together for a period of time to make that money. Well, that's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not.
I'm
but
sure
then a
that
lot
is
of
true.
couples have come off and are still together and have kids with each other. So it's sort
To
of...
be fair, like if you look at a show like Made in Chelsea, there's quite a few people that are still together that got together on that show.
Millie and Hugo, Jamie and Habs.
Yeah, there are quite a few examples of people having proper.
But Made in Chelsea, I mean, you don't go on it to find love. That just happens.
No,
when you're
but
on
like
there.
they were relationships that have lasted since the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very skeptical of people who say that they're actually going on those shows to look for love. I think that's quite a ridiculous thing to say.
I would say it's half
I
and
think
half.
you go on Love Island purely
Pretty Little Thing deal.
purely for Instagram followers. I think that's all that show is about, really. And then people come off it and they have 200,000 followers or whatever, and then they try and make some money off that. That's literally what that show is about. It's not about anything else.
I would say that is slightly different to shows like Married at First Sight and Love is Blind.
I just got a text from Spencer Matthews.
Has he finished his marathons?
Yeah.
What's it say? Shut up.
I actually got asked to record like a video. They were obviously getting like a load of people to record good luck messages for him. So I must have been part of some big video thing that he must have watched on his last race, which I hate doing stuff like that. You know when people say, "Can you record a 20-second
birthday
video
message?"
And also because of being in comedy, people are always like, "Can you do something funny?" I'm like, what do you want me to do in 20 seconds while...
It's the pits.
I just hate... it took me about 40 minutes to record
do
this
one.
20 seconds.
Did you actually do it?
Because I was just like putting it off and I was like, I don't want to do it. And Olivia was like, oh, it'll be fine, just do it. I'll
It's
record.
a lot of pressure though.
I was like, I don't want to... I hate stuff like that.
I'd always get some of my old producers from MIC being, oh, can everyone just get in on this video? Or they'd message me. I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it in 5 minutes. 3 weeks later,
The
still not
worst.
done it.
Listen, thank you for listening this week. We will be back next Friday. If you have any stories that are along the lines of Dave and his fleshlight or slightly more wholesome things,
No, keep it really low rent. I love hearing these things because I'm fucking horrified.
contact at privatepartspodcast.com, at private podcast on all the social media things. Also, full episodes are available to watch on YouTube and you can watch the full unedited episodes there. Liv, any final thoughts?
Don't share sex toys.
Okay, that really has come from the horse's mouth.
And we're launching ours soon.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye.